Okay, as promised, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you how to do the database task from today. For those of you who weren't there today, this is taken from summer 2016, Cambridge exams, and it's paper number 22. So it's one of the paper twos. The first half of it's all about other stuff, but we don't need to worry about that today. So I'm going to go on and show you how to do the access bit. It's relatively painless as these go, actually, to be honest. So might as well just go on with it. My version of access, as you may notice, is slightly different from the ones we have at school, because this is slightly newer, but largely it's exactly the same, and most of the menus are in the same place and stuff. It just looks a bit more polished. As always, kill table 1. It's pointless and useless and no one likes it. We then need to move on. As you know, you'll always be importing data. You never have to create the data from scratch, because that would be tedious and take forever. So we'll just go the usual way. You're importing a file from a CSV. CSV files look like they belong in Microsoft Excel, sorry. You'll notice they even want to open in Excel. That's them just being sneaky. They actually look like this. So they're actually text files, just disguised as Excel files. It's to do with making the file sizes smaller for sharing online, like Cambridge have done with you. So anyway, we import them as usual. You import a text file and browse. I've saved my work onto desktop today just for pure example's sake. However, in real life I would suggest not doing that. The file we need to import is j2260yachts.csv, which is this one here. Okay. When you're importing, we will always leave it delimited. That just means it's separated by commas, so each value has a comma in it, or there's a character between. We use commas. So you delimit by commas, and the first row will always contain field names. So you click that, and that's okay. You don't have to worry about anything here, about indexing. That's fine, don't worry, ignore it. The next step, you are told the yacht ID is the primary key, so you can choose a primary key, and it's going to be the yacht ID. Next, and if you just import the file, I'm changing the name just to yachts. You don't have to do that. It's a personal preference. So if I finish that, my yachts table has been imported. If you view that in design view, you can make sure that this matches data types and stuff. So as you can see, most of it is pretty much sorted already. We need to make sure that the length is only one decimal place. So if you have your access in proper size, like you would, you can set it as a double, and your decimal places should be 1. Also, it wants you to set your price as currency, and the currency is euros and no decimal places. So in your currency, we can go to Format, Euro, Decimal Places, none. If you view this in Datasheet view, save it, and view it, you should see one decimal place where there is, oh no, that didn't go as planned, and no decimal places there. So to fix this, we go back to Design View, Length. If we change length, change decimal places, sorry, format, fixed, one decimal place. Then we save it again, your data. There you go, you see it's in one decimal place. Normally it'll just work this normal way, but sometimes Access can be funny and you've got to do it slightly differently. So you save that data and you're done. That's the first step, that's 4 marks, well done. Okay, you then need to create a data entry form, and some of you put a lot of work into this in class today. However, it's only worth 1 mark, so I wouldn't, to be honest. If you just, Form Wizard, it asks you to include all the fields, so include all the fields, next, finish, here's your form, done. That's it, don't need to make it fancy or anything. Okay, so it asks you to enter some data. We can create a blank record, a new one, to enter your data for that. And we're going to enter MO, sorry, for motor, 126. The boat is an Antilex. The type is a motorboat. The length is 25 meters. Builder ID is 155FAL. It costs 795,000 euros. It was built in 2011. 6 people could sleep on it, and it's crewed by 3 people, so you can have 3 guests. We can close and save that now. And if you want to double check, you can go and check your data here. And you'll notice MO126, your Antilex has been added. You don't need to do anything fancy there, it just automatically saves as soon as you type it in. So that's the beauty of data entry forms. You can check here to make sure it's correct for your checking for errors thing, and that's fine. I asked you to skip this question. Essentially, you would point out that for this design is incredibly plain, ugly, and boring. There's no advice as to how to fill it in. The title, just generically yachts, doesn't really explain anything, but you don't need to worry about that. I'll come back and do this for a GCSE video if you want to know more about that. For this, it's just to get through it. You can kill that, kill that. The next step, you can, okay, it's asking to import the next table, set the builder ID as a primary key, and create a relationship. Again, this is pretty straightforward. Exactly the same steps again. You're importing your builders table. Okay, it's the limit again. It's separated by commas. The first row is field names. This is all fine. Your primary key is the builder ID, as we saw earlier. And you can, again, personal preference, you can leave the numbers there if you like, and finish. That gives us our builders table. You can see all the different people that build stuff. Okay, next you need to create a relationship, which is a database tool in here. Typically, you'll be told what your relationship has to look like and what it has to be. If it doesn't, you just need to match primary key with something else in the other table. So we have the builder ID, and you left click and pull that onto builder ID. Oops. There we go. Okay, that didn't work. It's fine, you can change it. And you'll notice it says it's a one-to-many, which fortunately this asks for create a one-to-many relationship. So that means that is fine. You can create that, and you can see the relationship there. Save it, as always. Next is this bit that's a bit more confusing. We are creating a query. Every time you see asking for a report, you typically have to create a query first. And the hard bit here really is sort of picking out the information from here. So I'll go through it step by step with you. First thing, I told you to skip this in class, but it's something that might be worth knowing anyway, so I'll show you it. If we create a query design with both of these, You can do it as it goes down, so here, 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 here if you want. I like to make sure I've got all the field names and stuff in as they're supposed to be first. So I always look for shows only as like my top priority. So I want to have the yacht name, the builder name, the type, the length, the price, the build year, build country, which is here, and total birth, which is a calculated field. So we've got total birth, and it tells you up here about the total birth. So you're creating a new field, a calculated field at one time, and this field will calculate the total number of births by adding the sleeps plus the crew. I'm assuming births means people. I'm not up on my sailing terms, but I think sounds about right. So you've got total underscore births, which is the required field name. The syntax of this is always exactly the same. So you type it, you type the name of the new field, then use a colon to identify that that's the name, and then I'm going on to tell you how to create it. Because we are adding two existing fields together, square bracket, because all fields come in square brackets. Sleeps plus square bracket 3 square bracket. And if we run that, hopefully, this is when live demos don't work, you will see that we now have the total number of births, and that's just the total number of people that fit on the boat. Okay, so the second step, you want boats that were made after 2010 and the length is less than 40 feet. So the length is 40 or less, so it's going to be less than or equal to 40. And after 2010, it's going to be build year greater than 2010. And if we preview this, we should be able to see all of these lengths are less than 40 or equal to it. All of these dates are greater than 2010. So that worked. That's good. That would be embarrassing otherwise. So we can close this now and save it. And if you put the title in now, just to save yourself some headache later, so you call the query yachts less than 6 years old. Okay. As I said, you're always going to, when you actually create a report, you always create a query first, and then that query turns into a report. So we can create, and in your reports you have a report wizard. The wizard just makes your life a lot easier. So do the report wizard, and from your report wizard you can add everything, because you need all this stuff. And it's in the right order as well, so that's fine. Right. Here it's asking about groupings. We don't have to worry about grouping, it's not included in the work, so you can just click next. Don't need any more grouping. We do have some sorting though. So we want to sort in ascending order of type and then descending order of length. So type ascending, length descending. Go next. Honestly, it doesn't really matter what layout you can do. I would just leave it default. However, it does say it has a landscape page orientation, so it needs to be landscape. Click on next, and you're probably going to have to do some design modification. In fact, and you can, the title as well, sorry. So, yachts less than 6 years old. So you can see the report here. It looks okay. I'm assuming the total is going to be a bit too small there. The total number of births, we can probably reduce that. Basically, you need to be able to read all the labels and all the values. So if you've got, we'll have a look at this properly in a second. A couple of things you need to do in design view. Any of this from here, where you're adding names and things to it, at the top of the report, you're going to create, oh sorry, you're not, that's a lie. In your design, you're going to add labels. Your labels, you're like an A, and your candidate number, which it doesn't matter what that is, to be honest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and your center number, which for us, actually this is online, so I can't tell you ours. Let's go with XX1111. There you go. So there's our secret center. Okay, so a couple more bits and pieces. We've done this one, our headings in. We need to add, calculate the average length of all the boats. This sounds a lot harder than it actually is. What you need to do here, you click on length, and then in your totals you can either total them up, you can get an average, you can count how many boats there are, you can count how many numbers there are, you can get the biggest one, the smallest one. Standard deviation and variance you will not have to use ever, I don't think. So in this case we want the average. I'll put that in the report footer, which will appear at the bottom of your report, like once all the records are done. And it tells us where to put this. So the length positioned below the length column and formatted to 1 decimal place has the label average length to the left of this. So we put in a label that says average length. Let's just put a comma up in as well for good measure. It doesn't ask for it, but it won't hurt. So the average length is next to that, and this should be formatted. Get the properties up, fixed 1 decimal place. So it's already done because we did it before. So next step, if you're in layout view, you can see your average down here. Your titles are all in. What we need to do now is make sure all the data is visible. So the only problem we really have is total number of births. We don't know what this field is yet. Length, actually type can be a lot smaller. You can squeeze in the size of, oh sorry, that didn't work. Squeeze and type. Squeeze and type. If you hold down control, you can select multiple things. We can literally move all this stuff at once. Annoyingly, it doesn't give you a little skeleton, a little ghost of what's happening, so you just got to kind of guess. Should be okay. Build people. Do here as well. Oops, too far, sorry. And births. Put this down. Rejigger the size a little bit. Total births. That'd probably do it, to be honest. You could probably try and fit it perfectly onto one page, but for all intents and purposes, that'll do it. There you go. And that is that query. Okay, the final one, the extension task, is optional. Well, not optional, but for the best of you. It's much of the same, really. So you're going to produce another report, which means you need to produce another query. So this time you want only yachts, or only ones that contain yachts, so only sort of types of yacht, or only companies that build yachts, sorry. And the build country has to be New Zealand or Australia, so you're looking for an Antipodean yacht company. Same again, you create your query in query design. You add both of these in. I like to check here, so we want to add, shows only yacht name, building type, price, build country, and services. So we can add price, build country, which is in here, and finally services. Okay, as we said, you want only build companies that feature the name yacht, so builder name. This is a tricky one. Some of you have done this before. So if we look at our builders table, there's a few different places that make yachts. So you get like CISO yachts, ABC yachts, Alloy yachts. We need all of those. And we can't, you could type them all in, but it'd take forever. So what you want to do, if you put in star, then yacht, and then star, it will give you anything, any letters before this, any letters after this. So any occurrence of the word yacht will be returned by this search. It'll fill in the like and stuff for you. Then, the build country, we want New Zealand or Australia. So you can also do it this way and have the Aussies down here. Oh, sorry. Down here. But if you do that, you'll need to make sure you have the like yacht on both lines as well. So I just think it's more efficient. And this is a personal preference more than an actual correct way to do it. Both ways are fine. New Zealand or Australia. And if we run this query, we should see we have all the yacht companies from New Zealand or Australia. We can save this and call it Australia and Kiwi boats. I don't know what the proper title is yet, we'll update that in a second. Okay, nope. Right, so again, we've got our query. We use our query to build a report. So we go to the report wizard. You can add everything you can. We need to add Oceania. Okay, we need to sorry, I'm saying the same thing over and over again. Click next. There's no grouping. There's still no grouping. You want to sort price in descending order, and that's the only sorting we have. You then want to have a page orientation of portrait. It fits on a single page and includes a heading Oceania Yacht Builders. I will copy and paste this because it's getting late. Okay, next. We can paste this in and modify the report design. Oh, doesn't like that. I will have to type it. Oceania. I don't know how to spell that. There is no I in the middle. Oceania. Oceania. Yacht Builders. Okay, modify the report design so you have title, blah 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 blah, it all looks okay. You want to have your name, section number, candidate number at the bottom of the report. So in your report footer, I'm going to put this in text, because you want it at the bottom of the report, not at the bottom of the page. Insert here, name, again, the candidate number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we are at school called XX11111, whatever, about that, something like that. Okay, oops, sorry. Okay, that looks quite right. We'll just check it in layout view to make sure all the text is visible, and then we are done. Thank you. So, layout view. See, this is, so on one page it doesn't all fit, so we can stretch this out a bit. So if we were to make type smaller, okay. So I'm just using Control to select multiple things at once. It's nothing fancy, guys. And then I think if we move all this stuff back, that's a bit close. That looks so good. There we go. Services. Hopefully this fits. Uh-oh. So this one is ridiculously long. So we might need to just scoot everything down a little bit further. Builders can go down a bit. Types can go down a bit. Companies can go down a bit. And services can go down a bit. There we go. Fits on one page. Title, name, everything. Did I miss anything? No. And that's it. Done and done.